Well, welcome to the 700 Club, and thanks so much for joining with us. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in the U.S. this morning. He's scheduled to meet with President Trump before attending Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral service.
During a pause in the war, President Trump says the United States is in, quote, deep talks with Iran, while Iran says no negotiations are taking place at all. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more.
Before leaving for the U.S., Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu noted it will be his 8th time meeting with President Trump, more than any other international leader.
We will discuss all the issues on the agenda, first and foremost Iran. Naturally, our goal is to safeguard our security and also to expand the circle of peace around us.
Israeli media reports that Netanyahu pushed the security cabinet to approve deployment of the International Stabilization Force in Gaza, even though Hamas has not disarmed, in order to firm up his meeting with Trump. Reportedly, the White House would only schedule a meeting if Netanyahu had some diplomatic achievement to present, and he chose Gaza to prove they're making progress. President Trump, meanwhile, says the Iranians really want to make a deal.
Pretty much destroyed their military. They want to meet, and we're meeting. We'll see what happens. There's a chance we could make a deal. Without what we did, they wouldn't even be talking to us.
Speaking to reporters on Air Force One, Trump said the Strait of Hormuz is in good shape, and if Iran doesn't make a deal, the U.S. will return to what they were doing before. He also said that, contrary to reports that U.S. munitions are running low, the stockpiles are good.
We have a lot of the mid-level stuff, too. I mean, more than we could ever use, no matter what. But we have a lot. I'd like to have more, to be honest. So we're building it very rapidly. Plants are being built. A lot of equipment's being built. The Patriots, in particular, are being built.
While Israel remains quiet, some Israelis are sending a message to the American president. Posted on several buildings along the train route through Tel Aviv are banners saying, "Mr. President, finish the job." Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I always hold out for peace. I always pray for peace. But when you look at the ideology behind the Iranian regime, they can't come to peace. If they do, then it means they're abandoning what they've been struggling now for 47 plus years. They firmly believe that they are to usher in the Mahdi. That's their firm belief. And they firmly believe we're the great Satan. They firmly believe Israel is the little Satan. They want to take us out, and they've said it again and again and again. And their proxies say it. The Houthis have on their flag, "Death to America." That is the ideology. So how do you negotiate with that? And if you do negotiate with that, how can you trust it? Again, their ideology says if you find yourself in a weak position, it's okay to negotiate for a temporary peace while you rearm. That's what this is all about. It's about time we wised up to it, that until there's fundamental change of that ideology, it's no longer in charge of that government, we're not going to see peace in the Middle East. Well, in other news, a summer of severe weather continues as winds over 110 miles an hour tore through neighborhoods in Wisconsin. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That is right, Gordon. More than 125,000 people in Wisconsin are without power after a powerful tornado blew through the state, affecting several counties. The twister plowed a trail of carnage through the city of Menasha, ripping roofs off homes and destroying businesses. Downed power lines and crushed cars littered the streets. So far, though, unfortunately, no reports of serious injuries or fatalities. Heavy storms affected other parts of the Midwest, leaving about 400,000 people in Illinois in the dark. The system is now moving east. Well, as mentioned earlier at the top of the show, world leaders are coming here to Washington today to remember the late Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. In addition to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky is also here. President Trump and Zelensky have a White House meeting this morning. Senator Graham was a staunch advocate of Ukraine. In fact, he just returned from a trip to Kyiv on the day that he died. The senator's casket will be brought to the Capitol Rotunda this morning. Fellow lawmakers will attend a ceremony there at 10 a.m. At 2 in the afternoon, President Trump is among the speakers at a memorial service at the Washington National Cathedral. Both events will be live streamed on CBN News' YouTube channel. Gordon?
Well, we certainly will miss Senator Graham. What a staunch defender of the faith, what a staunch defender of life, and also a staunch advocate for Israel and Ukraine. He will be greatly missed. He was a dear friend of my father's. They used to regularly talk, and he's a force to be missed. He was known as the face of the Senate on public media, and it's absolutely a horrible loss. We mourn him, and our condolences to his family.